What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim, finally back after a long vacation, and I'm excited to be here. Excited to be diving into next year's standard format with a video documenting rotation for the 2019 season. Now, rotation goes into effect on September 1st, 2018. That's after the World Championships. And the legal sets are going to be everything in the Sun and Moon block. So Sun and Moon On is going to be our legal rotation set. Many of us already know this, but maybe some do not. But that's going to include all promos from the Sun and Moon series, Sun and Moon 01 and on. It's going to include Shining Legends as well as the Sun and Moon Alolan Raichu and Lycanroc Trainer Kit, and the McDonald's collection from 2017. Now, the sets that we are losing in this rotation, everything from the XY block. So the things that we're still hanging on there: Breakthrough, Breakpoint, Generations, Fates Collide, Steam Siege, and Evolutions are all getting rotated out for the 2019 season after the World Championships this year in August. So in this video, I'm going to go through each set that's rotating out and talk about the big deal cards we're losing from each one on PTCGO. So let's get right down to it. One of the crazy things about this rotation is that we're losing all Pokemon EX and all Pokemon Break from standard format. At this point, Pokemon EX are a little outdated, giving up 2 prizes just like Pokemon GX. However, they don't have that awesome GX attack that all Pokemon GX boast at this point. Pokemon Break were a fun little extra evolution step that existed in the standard format for a couple years, though. Some did break into the metagame for a while, but by and large, most of them were kind of underwhelming. So they're going to be disappearing from the meta as well. First up, I'm going to be talking about Breakthrough as a set. Breakthrough was a very influential set with lots of good cards in it that were mainstays for the years that this set was legal in standard format. First card we're going to be talking about is Gallade. That premonition ability, incredible. The ability to stack the top 5 cards of your deck, put them in any order, combos fantastically with Garbodor, because Garbodor obviously evolves from Kirlia. So does Gallade. They both evolve from Kirlia. Gallade, amazing fighting type as well. That sensitive blade could do 130 base damage if you played a supporter this turn. Attacks for a double colorless energy, which also jives perfectly with Gardevoir GX. So losing Gallade is going to be a big deal for Gardevoir GX in the upcoming year. For a while, Gallade was a strong enough Pokemon that it actually existed as its own deck while paired with Octillery, who we are also losing from this set. Octillery, such a good card for that Abyssal Hand ability, being able to fill your hand to 5. This Abyssal Hand powered so many draw engines this year, most notably in those Buzzwole Lycanroc decks, having synergy with Brooklet Hill, being able to search out Remoraid as well as your fighting type Pokemon. Octillery was a huge boon for fighting type archetypes this year, and losing Octillery is going to be a big deal as well. We are also losing Thunderlance Raikou, the Rainbow Force, Xerneas, Rainbow Road. That thing's going to be disappearing as well. Stand-in Zoroark, another huge deal. This was a great card as well as Zoroark Break, but Stand-in Zoroark having that kind of rush in invasion style ability. Now we have that Dawn Wings Necrozma with invasion to be able to just jump from the bench to the active position. Fantastic ability. Zoroark was fantastic because it was a non-EX that had that great stand-in ability and also an incredible double colorless energy attack in Mind Jack, doing more damage for the amount of bench Pokemon your opponent had in play. So a great way to keep your opponent in check, and also just a nice splashable mobility attacker since it attacked for just a double colorless energy. Also hitting for dark weakness was relevant in some situations as well. Zoroark Break was a big deck last year in combination with Zoroark Stand-in and Rampa at last year's NAIC, the NAIC from 2017. This was a big archetype as well. Zoroark Break found some niche play during the time that it was legal, but that foul play ability, just fantastic attack. The ability to copy the opponent's active Pokemon's attack for just 1 energy has always been a strong thing in the Pokemon trading card game. We are also losing some incredible trainer cards from Breakthrough as well, most notably Bridget, or Brigetti, or Yeti for short as I often call her. The Bridget, the best turn 1 supporter for many decks in this format. Some decks have gone up to playing 3 or 4 copies of her. Amazing card, searching out 3 basic Pokemon from your deck, putting them onto your bench, and the fact that it can search out GXs alongside your non-GX Pokemon as well is completely awesome, since it does have that clause that kept it from searching out 3 Pokemon EX. It was kind of funny that it was able to search out Pokemon GX. Clearly, GX Pokemon and Bridget weren't intended to exist in the same format, but alas, they did, and they functioned together just well in this year's standard format. We also have Floatstone, an incredible mobility card that's used in almost every single deck, is going to be rotating as well. So what cards will fill in the gaps for Floatstone and Bridget? We do have things like Escape Board, Switch. We also have Pokemon Fan Club, Nest Ball, things that can fill the gaps for these cards that we're losing, but obviously Floatstone and Bridget are going to be missed. And what I consider to be almost the biggest card from this set that we are losing is Parallel City. This card is incredible. It's one of the most influential stadiums, in my opinion, to have ever existed in the Pokemon trading card game. The ability to limit your opponent's bench to 3 with a stadium is just so incredible. And then also the dual option of being able to limit their damage output from grass, fire, or water Pokemon. Such an incredible, versatile stadium. Also the fact that you could use the blue side of Parallel City on your own field to protect yourself from things like Lycanroc GX's Dangerous Rogue, to protect yourself from maybe a damaged or weakened Pokemon getting knocked out easily by your opponent. Such an incredible stadium, especially with Pokemon like Zoroark GX doing more damage for the amount of Pokemon you have in play. Parallel City going to be missed. Also notable, we are losing Super Rod here, big deal. Also Professor's Letter and Town Map, some other great cards out of Breakthrough. Breakpoint is another incredible set from the XY block as well. So many good, notable, playable cards, influential cards in this set. Dark Pulse Darkrai EX, one of the first that I wanted to mention, influential for its involvement in the Turbo Dark deck. I mean, kind of the backbone of the Turbo Dark deck, with that Dark Pulse attack doing more damage for the amount of darkness energy attached to all your Pokemon. Very good. Did see decrease in play after Buzzwole GX came out. Hard to imagine why, but that Darkrai going to be missed from standard format. Additionally, we also lose Espeon EX. Espeon EX, such a cool card for that Miraculous Shine attack. Very good in spread style decks, very good in snipe style decks as well, which could get more popular with the release of the new Shrine of Punishment Stadium from Celestial Storm. So these decks are going to miss Espeon EX for sure. The ability to devolve all your opponent's highest stage evolutions and leave them with the weak kind of pre-evolutions is just an amazing attack. And the fact that it costs just 1 colorless energy meant that this thing could be splashed in just about any archetype. Probably the biggest deal, bar none, out of Breakpoint is the fact that we are losing Garbotoxin Garbodor. Garbotoxin Garbodor has been a thing for a long time in the Pokemon trading card game. Now, this Garbodor is a reprint, kind of the one from Dragons Exalted. So Garbodor has been a staple in the metagame for almost as long as I've been playing the Pokemon trading card game. It's been a very long time. Had a brief period where it wasn't legal when Dragons Exalted rotated, but then Breakpoint comes back out, legal again for a number of years here, and has just been good the entire time. Yveltal Garbodor was very good. Darkrai Garbodor back in the day was very good. Dark types have very much always loved Garbodor. Now Zoroark Garbodor, another huge deck. Garbodor being paired with Trashlands Garbodor, huge deal in the standard metagame as well, just in decks like Espeon Garbodor, which was good last year, and some of this year as well. well. And now both those partners being paired alongside Zoroark, another amazing combination. So Garbotoxin going to be leaving us. We don't have Hexmaniac or any other sort of easy ability lock as well, so I expect abilities to be a very big deal in the future of the standard metagame, especially with Garbotoxin finally leaving us, and I think a lot of players probably relieved. Some players are going to miss him. I played Garbodor quite a bit myself, so I'm definitely going to be missing Garbodor, but I'm excited to see what the future of the format holds without Garbodor, kind of putting a check on those abilities, see what kind of strong abilities can rise. It's always very exciting as well. We are also losing, some players may say, Garbodor, no, what about Greninja? We're also losing the entire Greninja archetype. Both the Shadow Stitching, Greninja, and Greninja Break are going to be disappearing from standard format. Giant Water Shuriken, goodbye. Greninja Break, one of the most successful, if not the most successful Break Pokemon to have ever been printed. Very, very good deck, very good archetype. A lot of players have kind of a love-hate relationship with Greninja, but so long to Greninja Break, it is disappearing as well. We've also got a number of very good trainer cards from Breakpoint as well. As you can see here, we are losing Bursting Balloon, which has been a good card in those Zoroark Garbodor decks to provide kind of a temporary one-sided ability lock. Very good. We are also losing Delinquent. Can't tell you how many times I've had my hand Delinquent away to 0. Delinquent was very good alongside Zoroark this year, being able to just pinpointed lower your opponent's hand by making them discard 3 cards from it. Very good if they do only have 3 cards in hand, which is very easy to time out with Puzzle of Time and Zoroark GX. Speaking of Puzzle of Time, we are losing Puzzle of Time from standard format. And what's crazy, and I'm going to make a video on this as well, but we are losing it from expanded format as well because it has been updated to the ban list from expanded format. Going to be doing a video on that probably tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But yes, we are losing Puzzle of Time from all formats. If you like Puzzle of Time, it's your last month to play the card right now, so that thing is gone crazy. So good in combination with Zoroark GX, being able to pull things from the discard pile like Delinquent to reuse them when the time is just right. We are also losing, let's see what do we got here. Delinquent, I said, Max Elixir and Sycamore as well. Max Elixir, what an incredible card in combination with cards like Buzzwole GX. I mean, really just the universal energy accelerator. Max Elixir can power up any type of energy you want to basic Pokemon. Fantastic card. A lot of players are playing it alongside Rayquaza GX, the new Rayquaza GX. That combination is only going to be legal for pretty much Worlds, right? And then Max Elixir is going to be rotated. Players are going to have to find new ways to power up the new Rayquaza GX as well. But what an incredible card. A lot of players, again, have a love-hate relationship with Max Elixir, considering the Max Elixir whiffs, right? The promise of an energy accelerator. What all, doesn't really matter. You play 10, 12, 14 energy. I've seen Max Elixir whiffs in decks with 15 energy in them. It just happens all the time, and sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to it. You could have 30 cards in deck with only 1 or 2 energy in it, hit the game winning Max Elixir, and you're good to go. Max Elixir is definitely going to be missed as that universal energy accelerator. Now we've got Beast Ring, right? Beast Ring is really our only item-based energy accelerator from deck now. Max Elixir was our other one, but now Beast Ring we have to rely on for those Ultra Beast Pokemon. And then, of course, Professor Sycamore as well. The infamous discard your hand, draw 7 cards has been legal in one form or another, either Professor Sycamore or Professor Juniper, pretty much since I've been playing the game. So yes, this is definitely going to be missed. Interesting to see how the game will develop with more modest supporters, more shuffle draw supporters, more search things out of your deck supporters. I'm interested to see how the game will develop without that staple discard your hand, and draw 7. Then, of course, as far as the energy goes, we are losing Splash Energy as well. Saves your water Pokemon from being discarded when they get knocked out. Very good in Greninja, and some players were playing it with Greninja GX as well, so we are losing Splash Energy too. Now, I know you did not just forget Fighting Fury Belt. Moving on to Generations. Yep. Forgot about it. It's fine. We'll get there later. Now, Generations is an interesting set. It's definitely a cool set. Lots of cool Pokemon in here, like Flareon EX. The artwork's incredible, right? Got a lot of cool stuff. The Shining Collection. We've got the Radiant Collection, Garbodor EX. All the Radiant Collection reprints. Super cool. Cards that never got played, like Golem EX. Also, the Mega Venusaur, Mega Charizard, Mega Blastoise. Yeah, these guys didn't really see a lot of action either. Did have some relatively cool cards in it, though. Definitely had some playable trainers, even though this Sylveon really never saw any play. Did have some cool stuff. Did have Raichu in it with that Circle Circuit, so we are going to be losing that finally. We also are losing, this Meowstic, I think, might have seen play at one point in time in, one deck ever. So, that was the thing. And also Jolteon EX, probably the most successful card out of Generations, going to be missed. This free retreater had that Flash Ray attack that said that it prevented attacks from basic Pokemon next turn. Very good. Obviously a direct counter to big basic decks, so that was awesome. Very cool card. Most of the cards that we're going to be missing out of Generations, however, are trainer cards. And as you can see here, we've got a lot of staples, most notably this Evo Soda. Evo Soda, so good, right? Searching out an evolution card for free from the deck and allowing you to, do you put it onto that? Yes, you evolve straight onto that Pokemon. So it doesn't trigger abilities like Bloodthirsty Eyes, but it does search out Pokemon like Zoroark GX, right? So that you can start trading right away on the second turn of the game. Very, very good. Going to be missed. Now we have things like Timer Ball, a little less consistent for some, but you can Timer Ball for cards that then will trigger abilities when played from the hand, so that is the benefit of that. Also, when you flip 2 heads on Timer Ball, it is fantastic, right? We also are losing Red Card, Revitalizer, a great card for those Grass-type decks. Searching 2 Grass-type Pokemon out of the discard pile, putting them into your hand. Team Flare Grunt, another great card for those decks like Sylveon. Pokemon Center Lady was a staple for a while, especially in decks like Seismitoad EX, which hasn't been legal for a little while now, but it was a good card, especially when cards like Hypnotoxic Laser were legal. So Pokemon Center Lady, not quite as good anymore, but was good for a period of time. And like Shauna, definitely outclassed by Cynthia now. Clement, outclassed by Lady, right? I think Lady could get 4 of any type of energy out of your deck. So definitely losing some pretty good trainers here out of Generations. But other than that, and Wally. Yes, Wally, which we are losing from standard format and expanded format as well, like I had said, because of that updated ban list. So crazy, crazy stuff there. Generations, overall, pretty underwhelming set, but it will be missed. Up next, we've got Fates Collide. In Fates Collide, we are losing probably the coolest Pokemon break to have ever existed, and that is Carbink Break. Carbink Break is my dude, man. This card was so cool in that Buzzwole Garbodor deck for the couple months that it was a thing before Beast Ring got released. I love Carbink Break, that Diamond Gift attack. I'm glad we got to kind of see this card shine before it finally got rotated here. Carbink, everybody's favorite, coolest golden poop-shaped Pokemon. I don't really know. Very, very funny card. But Carbink, that whole line is going to be rotated out. Also, this Aerodactyl Jet Draft that some people played sometimes in some very rogue-type decks is going to be rotated. Audino! Man, talk about a world's winning deck that nobody expected. Yeah, for all you Audino fans, we are losing Audino EX as well. Also losing Glaceon EX, kind of the converse of Jolteon EX with that Crystal Ray, preventing attacks from evolution type Pokemon. Kind of became worse after Lele got printed, right? Because every evolution deck also ran Tapu Lele, which in a pinch you could attack with if you had to. Then we are also losing Regirock EX, which is such a big deal for those Buzzwole decks, even though they do have Diancie now. Some lists were playing both in order to further increase their damage output. So Regirock EX is going to be gone, as well as my other favorite fighting Pokemon, Zygarde EX. So good. Lance Pulse, Cellstorm, and Land's Wrath. What a cool card. Loved it in that Buzzwole Garbodor deck alongside Carbink Break from earlier in the year. So pretty small set. A lot of people give this set a hard time for not really being deep, but also this Mew. Don't let me forget about this Memories of Tom Mew. Yes, we are losing Mew as well, but there are some key cards in here that we are losing. And then as far as the trainers go, pretty short list. We've got Scorched Earth and N, and that is about it. We've got Strong Energy is in Fates Collide as well, so we're losing Strong Energy too, which is also a huge deal for fighting type Pokemon. So we've got, yes, big hits to our fighting type brothers and sisters out here with the Fates Collide rotating. However, not a lot else going on here in Fates Collide. That Mew, definitely a good card. Some were playing it in Malamar, some were also playing it in decks like Tapu Bulu. So the Mew from Fates Collide also going to be missed on Steam Siege. We're losing a few things here as well. As you can see, this was the kind of the beginning of the very short-lived dual type thing that they were doing for a little bit here. I do think the split dual type card that they were doing here is a little bit ugly. I think they did it right on some cards, and they did it right back in 2006. But they were doing it kind of ugly here for a little while. I think on like some of the full art cards like here, that looks great, right? But like on the split cards, not super into the 50-50 cards here with the split diagonal. Not super into that, but that's something they did in Steam Siege. And hey, I'm always up for experimentation. In this set, we are losing Mega Gardevoir. This is Gardevoir EX. We're losing Mega Gardevoir EX. This Psychic and Fairy dual type was a short-lived archetype on its own here for a little while. We are going to be losing that. Also, Magearna EX with that Mystic Heart ability, preventing all effects of your opponent's attacks except damage done to each of your Pokemon that has any metal energy attached to it. Pretty cool, preventing things like Espeon from devolving your metal type Pokemon, but Espeon and that Shine of Memories or whatever is being rotated as well, so maybe the need for Magearna won't be quite as needed as well. We are also losing Talonflame. Oh, the Gale Wings Talonflame. I love this as a card, just very cool being able to start with a stage 2 Pokemon if you start it in your opening hand. Also, Aeroblitz is an incredible attack for setting up certain decks. Was played in that second place World's Greninja Break deck back in 2016. Very, very cool. And then also Talonflame Break, was played as like a one of in some of these decks at some point in time, I guess, because you could then Aeroblitz for fire weakness, which is super cool, and give your Talonflame fire typing. Also great. Steam Siege, we are also losing all of Volcanion. Look at this. We are losing all of this. Yeah, Power Heater Volcanion. Goodbye, sir. Everybody's favorite fire energy accelerator is going to be rotating. What a boss of a card, just so good, with Fighting Fury Belt, which is also rotating. Did I talk about Fighting Fury Belt being gone? Gosh, I feel like I didn't give that quite enough time, but yes, at Breakpoint, we're losing Fighting Fury Belt as well. Yes, but with Fighting Fury Belt, 170 hit points, what a house, right? Power Heater being powered up by Volcanion's ability here, Steam Up, so good, right? You can Power Heater for, sometimes you can Power Heater for like 110 damage. It was crazy, right? And then Volcanic Heat, obviously very good. Volcanion as an archetype won a regionals this year at the hands of Igor Costa. Extremely good deck, going to be gone here for, into expanded format. So if you liked Volcanion, expanded is the place where you can still play your favorite fire type deck. Volcanion, that is gone, but Geomancy Xerneas, another card that we're losing out of Steam Siege here. Very good for accelerating Fairy Energy. Xernea's Break. Played against one of these at a regionals this year, so that card, I guess, is still a thing. We're losing it. And then Yveltal Break, right? Crazy top 8 rogue deck from this year's NAIC is going to be rotating as well as Oblivion Wing Yveltal, which has just been legal for what seems like forever, right? Just has been reprinted in one way or another through promos. It's just been reprinted a dozen times. Finally going to be rotating as well. As for the trainers in Steam Siege, you can see we don't actually have a whole lot. Pretty much Special Charge is the biggest deal here. We've also got Pokemon Ranger and Ninja Boy, Greedy Dice, but I mean, yeah, no, nobody's playing Greedy Dice. But Special Charge is such a big deal for being able to reuse things like Double Colorless Energy. Before Special Charge came out, you were just locked into 4 Double Colorless per deck. Some decks could just run Double Colorless Energy and have that be it, like Pisibian, right? You could just run like 4 Double Colorless Energy and maybe some counter energies and Special Charge, throw them back in and just reuse them. It allows you to effectively play like as many Double Colorless Energy in your deck as you would like. So with Puzzle of Time rotating and Special Charge rotating, that means that you are going to be locked into your 4 of Special Energy from here forward, which is a big deal since decks like Zoroark, right, depend entirely on using Double Colorless Energy to attack. And if you lock Zoroark into only having 4 Double Colorless Energy, it's a pretty big deal. So Special Charge going to be rotating here and is the biggest deal trainer from Steam Siege. And finally, the last set that's rotating out of standard format for the 2019 season is Evolutions. What a cool set, albeit not the most competitive set. It's got a lot of cool, nostalgic Pokemon in it, and there are a few meta mainstays that we are going to be losing. This Clefairy that knows Metronome, very good with being played in Malamar decks. Also got some play in Tapu Bulu decks as well. Any deck that accelerates energy could put this Clefairy in, and the fact that it hits for that fairy type weakness, also a pretty big deal. I mean, it might have been able to do some things against the newly popular Rayquaza, right? However, Clefairy is going to be rotating, so we're not going to be seeing him anymore, or her, whatever. Dragonite EX also rotating with the ability to pull up. Wasn't really seen played in standard format this year, but it is a very good card, and also definitely a bigger deal in expanded format where you have things like Skyfield and decks like, I don't know, Zoroark, right, that wants to keep multiple Pokemon on the bench in order to do a maximum amount of damage. So Dragonite is going to be rotating as well. And then other than that, we got Mewtwo from Evolutions. That's like probably the biggest deal, to be honest, because it is a counter to Buzzwole. However, Buzzwole is getting majorly nerfed, losing Octillery, losing Strong Energy, and losing Regirock EX and Max Elixir. So maybe I think Buzzwole is still good, but not quite as good. Probably doesn't need to be countered so heavily as it was in the past year. Mewtwo Evolutions helped us to do that, knocking out a fully loaded Buzzwole with that Psychic attack, so long as you add a Choice Band to boot. And then other than that, that's about it for the Pokemon. You guys can see in this list, I mean, this Pidgeot EX was seen, like, played one time ever. And other than that, we don't have a whole lot. Starmie, oh yeah, Starmie Space Beacon, very good. Just being able to trade a card in your hand for 2 basic energies from the discard pile. Majorly played in decks like Ninja Break, which is just wholesale rotating, but Space Beacon is definitely a good ability that could have been seen in some other archetypes as well, but that Starmie is definitely rotating too. Other than that, that's about it for the Pokemon in this set. We are losing just 3 major trainers out of this set. We are losing both Misty's Determination and Brock's Grit. Misty's Determination, not really a good trainer, but I mean, I love her, right? This is like my favorite full art supporter, so it is going to be rotating out of standard, but you know, nobody's really going to miss her all that much except for probably me. And then Brock's Grit, right? Brock's Grit was seen played in some archetypes, played in Bulu this year for a little while. Shuffle 6 at any combination of Pokemon basic energy cards through discard pile to your deck. So we are losing Brock's Grit and Super Rod, meaning that really we just have Energy Recycler as kind of our major option for shuffling in energy, and then we have Rescue Stretcher as our major option for shuffling in Pokemon from here going forward. And then Energy Retrieval, very good as well, was played in some Volcanion lists, also might have been played in some Magnezone decks, so Energy Retrieval going to be missed as well. And then we just have the promo cards. We are losing Mew, and we are losing Yveltal EX from the XY promo block. Yveltal EX has been legal for what seems like literally forever, and then Mew EX, just such a good card being played in Zoroark decks this year. Mew EX just being able to hit Buzzwole for weakness made it a mainstay in so many decks this year. In combination with Mewtwo evolutions, Mew and Mewtwo helped keep Buzzwole in check this entire year, so we are losing Mew EX as well. Finally, that promo was the only thing keeping it legal in standard format. And that about does it for our rotation. Aside from the obvious, like losing Volcanion entirely, losing Greninja Break entirely, the two biggest decks that are affected by the rotation are Buzzwole and Zoroark, which are two of the best decks in standard format. I do think both decks will continue to evolve and grow and stay very good in their own right. Just Buzzwole losing Octillery, strong energy, fighting Fury Belt in some circumstances. It played fighting Fury Belt, also losing Regirock and Max Elixir, just huge things for Buzzwole. Losing Parallel City as well for decks like Zoroark, such a big deal in one way because Zoroark no longer has to deal with Parallel City, but Zoroark also loved utilizing Parallel City for its own advantage. However, the biggest deal for Zoroark GX is losing that Puzzle of Time and Special Charge, meaning that Zoroark GX will have to think of new ways to keep energy in play. You'll no longer just be able to play 4 double colorless energy in your Zoroark deck. There will need to be a new way to keep energy in play for Zoroark decks, and Zoroark will no longer just be able to pull back one of supporters to use whenever it would like. So I think the format is going to get shaken up a lot. Obviously, Garbodor decks are all pretty much gone as well. Trash Edge Garbodor still exists, but Garbotoxic Garbodor and all the ability locking decks as we know them now are pretty much gone. So the format is definitely bound to change. Gardevoir GX could get more popular, especially with Rayquaza GX kind of looking like it's going to be a good deck going forward. But Rayquaza GX not going to have Max Elixir either. Gardevoir GX is not going to have Gallade. So there's a lot to look forward to in the upcoming standard format, and I'm really excited to start building decks for it. Let me know, what kind of decks do you guys think are going to be good in the upcoming standard format? What decks do you guys want to see deck profiled here in the month leading up to September 1st when our brand new format begins? Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell. Let me know, what do you think? What deck is impacted the most by rotation in your opinion? Thank you all for watching.